Hello everyone, myself Bismi Bicharian, Assistant Professor at Suresh Gyan Vihar University. Today I'm going to discuss about the CDS, means Chromatographic Data System. We have discussed about this system in our previous class also. So this is our today's topic. Learning objectives. This lesson will help the students understand what is CDS and they can easily describe what is CDS. Outcomes. After this lesson, students will be able to describe the CDS, means chromatographic data system, means what is chromatograph, what is chromatographic data analysis, what is chromatographic data system, all the things the students will able to describe all the things after this lesson. So chromatography software. Okay, so this chromatography data system is a software. The chromatography software is a software that collect and analyzes chromatographic results, okay, delivered by the chromatography detector. So the chromatography software is a software that collect and analyze chromatographic results that delivered by the chromatography detectors. Okay, the chromatography detectors delivered the chromatography results, so that chromatographic results collected and analyzed by the chromatography software. Many chromatography software packages are provided by manufacturers, and many of them only provide a simple interface to acquire data, and they also provide different tools to analyze this data. So many chromatography software packages are available in the market, and that they are provided by the manufacturer also, and many of them only provide a simple interface to acquire data. Okay, so many of them they only provide the data only, and they also provide different tools to analyze this data. So the chromatography software is a software that collect and analyzes the chromatography results delivered by chromatography detectors. The most common tool is integration. Okay, the most common tool is integration. It computes simple areas to delimit peaks by adding values automatically or not. Okay, so the common tool is the integration. Okay, it computes simple area to delimit peaks. Okay, by adding valleys automatically or not. Areas are computed between two valleys or two signals and a baseline. Okay, so areas are computed between two valleys, signal and a baseline. Applications are also available for simulation of the chromatography, for example, for teaching, demonstration, or for method development and the optimization. Okay, so there are lots of applications are available for the simulation of the chromatography, for example, teaching, demonstration, and for the method development or the optimization. So procedure required for the computer system. Okay, so procedure, what are the procedure required for the computer system? So first one is description of responsibilities. Okay, so procedure required by the computer system. So first one is description of responsibility. The role and the responsibility of staff supporting the computer system are defined. Okay, so first point is the roles and the responsibility of the staff supporting the computer system. First they have to define. Okay, so first one is description of the responsibilities. Second is system description of hardware and change control procedures. Okay, system description of hardware and change control procedure. In this, describe how the hardware component will be maintained. Okay, so system description of hardware and the change control procedure, in that describe how the hardware component will be maintained. Okay, equivalent to the hardware configuration log 2, with the procedure to be adopted when the system configuration is changed. So at the this is adopted when the system configuration is changed. At that time, describe how the hardware component will be maintained. So this is the system the description of hardware and the change control procedure. So first one, description of the responsibility, means roles and responsibility of the staff supporting the computer system are defined. Second is system description of the hardware and the change control procedure, in that describe how the hardware component will be maintained. Okay, with the procedure to be adopted when the system configuration is changed. Next is preventive maintenance. Okay, this describes the procedure for preventive maintenance of the hardware component. Okay, So in this preventive maintenance, this describe the procedure. Okay, there are procedures to maintain the hardware component. Okay, so for preventive maintenance of the hardware component, there are lots of procedures are described in this preventive maintenance. Prevention, detection, and the correction of the errors. Okay, in this, the measure and the procedure for the findings, recordings, and the resolving errors in the system. So in this prevention, detection, the correction of the errors in that, in this area, the measures and the procedures. Okay, the measures, measurement and the procedures for the findings, recording, and the resolving error in the system is coming under in this prevention, detection, and the correction of the error. This can be complex SOP covering many different aspects of the system and may refer to section of technical manual provided with the system. Okay, so this is a complex SOP and covering many different aspects of the system. Okay, and may refer to the section of the technical manuals provided with the system. This SOP includes good housekeeping such as disk defragmentation or monitoring the space available on all the disk. Okay, so this prevention, detection, the correction of the errors in that category, all the measurement and the procedures for finding, recording, and the resolving error in this are given. And this prevention and all the things are complex SOP that covering many different aspects of the system and may refer to the section of the technical manuals provided with the system. And this SOP includes good housekeeping such as disk defragmentation or the monitoring the space available on all the disk. Next is system boot and shutdown. This is a special SOP that should contain all the specific instruction for starting up and shutting down the system. Okay, so system boot and shutdown in this category. So this is the special SOP and that should contain all the specific instruction for starting up and shutting down the system. Okay, so in the system boot and the shutdown, that contain all the starting up and shutting down the instruction. Okay, this SOP may be required in an emergency and therefore should be well written and be easily available for use. Okay, so this system boot and shutdown SOP may be required in an emergency. Okay, it's required in an emergency, so this should be well written and be easily available for the use. Next is control of environmental conditions. Okay, control of environmental condition for the system that require a controlled environment. Okay, for the serious system that require a controlled environment, an SOP should define the acceptable ranges of the temperature, humidity, and the power supply. Okay, so SOP is there. Okay, in that SOP that clearly mentioned that the range of the temperature, humidity, and the power supply, all the things that are mentioned in that SOP. So other environmental consideration may be what to do in the situation of electrostatic discharges, power surges, fire, lightning strikes, or the use and the maintenance of an uninterruptible power supply. So there are lots of procedures are given. Okay, that are given. So that is what to do in the situation of electrostatic discharge. Okay, and if the power surges, what is the procedure to do. So all that things are mentioned in that particular SOP, the control of environmental conditions. So first, control of environmental condition means that the system that require means that system require a controlled environment, means a particular temperature, particular humidity, and the power supply that required by the system, and that all the things are mentioned in the SOP, as well as other environment conditions that the in that SOP, there should be mentioned that what to do in the situation of the electrostatic discharges, power surges, fire, lightning strikes, and or the use and the maintenance of an uninterruptible power supply. So in that condition, what to do? Okay, so all the things are mentioned in that particular SOP. Contingency plan and the emergency operation. So this is a disaster recovery plan. Okay, so in this contingency plan and the emergency operation, so this is a disaster recovery plan and it uses alternative plans until the computer system has been recovered. Okay, So this is the disaster recovery plan and uses of alternative plans until the computer system has been recovered. It is important that any disaster recovery plan is tested. Okay, any disaster recovery plan is tested and verified before any disaster occurs. Okay, so it is important that disaster recovery plan is tested and verified before any disaster occurs. Backup and the restore of the data. Okay, so in that backup and the restore of the data, that describe the procedure for backup of the data and software programs and how to restore data to the disk. So in this backup and the restore of the data, that describe all the procedure for the backup. Okay, so in that backup and the restore of the data, in that system, they are that describe all the procedures of the backup of the data and the software programs and how to restore data to disk. So next is security. The logical and physical security of the system is covered with the procedure for getting up and maintaining the security. So in the security, the logical means the software and the physical security of the system is covered with the procedure for setting up and the maintaining the security. All the things are given in the security portion. Next is installation and updation of software. Okay, installation and updation of the software means installation and updation of the software means all the processes are to be undertaken before, during, and after installation, installing the software. Okay, all the procedure to be undertaken before, during, and after installing the software. This should start with the complete backup of all the disks. Okay, so the installing the software that should start with the complete backup of all the disk, and then installation of the software and any testing and the validation that may be required. Okay, so installation and update of the software, there all the procedures to be undertaken before, during, and after installing the software. And this installation should start with the complete backup of all the disk, and then installation of the software and any testing and the validation that may be required. Next is development and update of system software procedures. Okay, development and update of the system software procedure. Software can be written to control the system and help execute functions. Okay, so the software can be written to control the system or help execute functions. This SOP outlines the procedures for the creation, documentation, and the modification of these procedures. Okay, so development and update of the system software procedure means so that all the procedure are there. So software can be written to control the system and help execute functions. And this SOP outlines the procedure for the creation, documentation, and modification of these procedures. Okay, how to write the software to control the system. All the things are given, all the procedures are given in that SOP, particular SOP. So next is password policy. Okay, password policy, peak integration procedures, also are all the things are given in this procedure. So let's see once again. So these all are the procedure required for the computer system. Okay, these all are the procedure required for the computer system. So first one is description of the responsibilities. Okay, so in that responsibility, all the roles and the responsibility of the staff supporting the computer system are defined. Next is system description of hardware and change control procedure. So in that, all that describe how the hardware component will be maintained with the procedure to be adopted when the system configuration is changed. Next is preventive maintenance. This describes the procedure for preventive maintenance of the hardware component. Next is prevention, detection, and the correction of the errors. Okay, so the measures and the procedures for the finding, recording, and the resolving errors in the system are given properly. Next is so this prevention, detection, and the correction of the errors. This is a complex SOP that covering many different aspects of the system and may refer to the section of the technical manuals provided with the system. And this SOP includes good housekeeping such as disk defragmentation or the monitoring the space available on all the disk. Next is system boot and the shutdown. So all the procedures are given in particular SOP for starting up and shutting down the system. This SOP may be required in an emergency and therefore should be well written and easily available for the use. Next is control of the environmental condition. Okay, so the system that require a controlled environment, an SOP should define the acceptable range of temperature, humidity, and the power supply. Other environmental consideration may be what to do in the situation of electrostatic discharges, power surges, fire, lightning strikes, or the use and the maintenance of an uninterruptible power supply. What to do in that condition, all the procedures are given in the particular SOP. Next is contingency plans and the emergency operations. Okay, so this is the disaster recovery plan. I use alternative plans until the computer system has been recovered. And it is important that any disaster recovery plan is tested and verified before any disaster happens. Backup and the restore of the data. Okay, in this backup and restore the data, describe the procedures for the backup of data and the software programs and how to restore data to disk. Okay, so these all the procedures are described in this backup and the restore of the data. Next is security. Okay, security, the logical and the physical security of the system. Okay, logical and the physical security of the system is covered with the procedures for setting up and maintaining the security. Next is installation and updation of the software. Okay, all the procedures are given in particular SOP for all the procedure to be undertaken before, during, and after installing the software. And this should start with the complete backup of all the disks, and then installation of the software and any testing and the validation that may be required. In all the procedures are given in this installation and update of the software. Next is development and update of the system software procedures. Okay, software can be written to control the system or help execute functions. This SOP outlines the procedure for the creation, documentation, and the modification of these procedures. Okay, so these all are given in that SOP. Next is password policy is there, and peak integration procedures. So all the things are given in the particular SOP. The importance of CDS is directly related to the roles that chromatography, particularly high performance liquid chromatography, gas chromatography, plays in pharmaceutical analysis. Okay, so the role of the CDS is in the pharmaceutical analysis is very important. Same likewise means how this HPLC GC are working in the pharmaceutical company. Okay, so the CDS is very important factor or very important thing in the particular pharmaceutical analysis. Okay, with the help of the CDS we can do all the chromatogram with the help of the CDS. Okay, so the HPLC and the GC equipment that is connected with the CDS, and we can control the equipment, we can control the HPLC and the gas chromatography equipment with the help of the software, means CDS. Okay, the HPLC and GC are the main workhorses in pharmaceutical analysis. Okay, so in this pharmaceutical company, HPLC and GC are the main workhorses. HPLC, GC, and CDS are used for several instrumental analysis technologies. Okay, so the HPLC, gas chromatography, CDS means chromatography data system are used for several instrumental analysis technology. On compared with traditional analytical method, the adoption of the chromatographic methods represented a significant improvement in the pharmaceutical analysis. Okay, when we are comparing with the traditional analytical method, okay, when this CDS is compared with the traditional analytical method, so the CDS method is more convenient in the pharmaceutical analysis. Okay, means that produce more efficiency and all in the pharmaceutical analysis. And this was because chromatographic method had the advantages of method specificity, the ability to separate and detect low level impurities. Okay, this was because of the chromatographic method, means that is method specificity. Okay, so in that CDS the method is specified. Okay, this is very advantage of the CDS, and the ability to separate and detect low level impurities. Okay, even if low level of impurities are present in particular mixture, that also we can detect that, okay, with the help of the CDS. So, with the help of the CDS, we can detect or we can separate the low-level impurities with the help of the CDS only. But if we are using the traditional analytical method, we can't detect or we can't separate the low level of the impurity. So, this is the main advantage of the CDS. Okay, so CDS, with the help of the CDS, we can separate and detect low level of the impurity. So, this is the main advantage of the CDS. So specificity is especially important for the methods intended for early phase drug development. Okay, so in the early phase drug development, the specificity is the important method. Okay, so method specification. Okay, so at the early phase of the drug development, method specification is the important factor. So with the help of the CDS, we can specify the particular method, okay, for the early phase of the drug development. When the chemical and the physical properties of active pharmaceutical ingredient are not fully understood and the synthetic process are not fully developed, okay, at that stage the CDS is very important, because that CDS contain the specific method for the drug development. Okay, and at which state means when the chemical and the physical property of API are not fully understood and the synthetic process are not fully developed. At that case, and at that stage, this CDS is very important, or the specificity is especially important for the method intended for the early phase drug development. Therefore, the assurance of safety in the clinical trial of an API relies heavily on the ability of analytical methods to detect and the quantitate unknown impurities that may pose safety concern. Okay, so we can identify, we can quantify the unknown impurities from that. Okay, and so this is only possible with the help of the CDS. And slowly HPLC and GC established their places as the mainstream analytical methods in the pharmaceutical analysis. Okay, so when the fully physical and the chemical property of the API we not understood, at that time this GC and HPLC established in the pharmaceutical company to identify, to for the separation of the impurities and all. The more and more important chromatographic method, practical needs prompted instruments vendors to come up with the more efficient way for the collecting, the processing of the chromatographic data. Okay, so we can find out the impurities with the help of the HPLC and the GC, but the vendors, okay, the vendors they come up with more efficient way of collecting and the processing of chromatography data with the help of the CDS. Okay, so CDS is very important in every pharmaceutical company, because we can collect and we can process all the chromatographic data through the CDS system. Means CDS is a software we can we have to install in the laptop or the computer, and that laptop or the computer connected with the HPLC and the gas chromatography instrument. Next is the emergence and the evolution of the CDS. For some instrument vendors, the early CDS were developed as a proprietary product to help with the sale of the instrument. Okay, so for some instrument vendors, okay, the early CDS were developed. Okay, the early CDS were developed as a proprietary product. Okay, to help with the sale of the instrument. The first generation of CDS system were based on working model of multi-user time sharing mini computers. Okay, so the first generation of CDS system were based on a working model of multi-user time sharing mini computers. The mini computers were connected to terminals in the laboratory that the analyst would use. Okay, so that mini computers were connected to the terminal in the laboratories. Okay, terminal in the laboratories that the analyst would use. So the first generation of the CDS system were based on a working model of multi-user. Okay, with the in the first generation CDS, the multi-user can work together. Okay, so and there are many mini computers were there, so that mini computers were connected to the terminal in the laboratory where the analyst would use that mini computer. The detector channel of the chromatographs were connected to the data system through a device called analog to digital converter. Okay, so the data detector channel of the chromatograph. Okay, so the chromatograph data channel of the chromatograph is present in the HPLC and the gas chromatography. Okay, that were connected to the data system, that is CDS. Okay, that is connected to the CDS through a device. Okay, through a device in between of the HPLC and the computer. There is a device that is called as analog to digital converter. Okay, the instrument is connected with the analog to digital converter, and the computer is connected with the analog to digital converter. So what happens? So this analog to digital converter, what they do, they convert the analog signals of the chromatographs, okay, into the digital signals. Okay, and we can see the digital signals in the computer. So in between the computer and the equipment, means HPLC or GC equipment, in between these two are connected with the help of the analog to digital converter. Okay, there should be analog to digital converter is there, because with the help of that analog to digital converter only we can convert the analog signals from the chromatograph, okay, from the chromatograph into the digital signals. Okay, we can't read the analog signals in the laptop, we only read the digital signals in the laptop. Okay, so that analog signals should converted into the digital signals. Okay, to collect all the data. Okay, so that is only possible with the help of the analog to digital converter. Okay, so the detector channel of the chromatograph means the equipment, HPLC equipment or the gas chromatographic equipment that are connected with the analog to digital converter. Okay, and that would convert the analog signal to the digital signal. In the late 1970s, Hewlett-Packard introduced the HP3300 series data acquisition system. Okay, in the late 1970s, the Hewlett-Packard introduced the HP330 series data acquisition system. Through the AD converter, the HP system was able to collect chromatographic data from up to 60 detector channels. Okay, through this AD converter, okay, this analog digital converter. So through this AD converter, the HP system, okay, HP system was able to collect chromatographic data from up to 60 detector channels. Okay, they can collect 60 detector channels from the 60 digital detector channel. They can collect the chromatographic data. Okay, this represented the beginning of computerized chromatographic data analysis and the management. Okay, so what this analog to digital do? The chromato means the detector channel of the chromatograph, means the detector channel of the equipment, HPLC equipment, the gas chromatography equipment that were connected to the data system through a device. Okay, through a device that is called as analog to digital converter. Okay, that converts the analog signal from the detector into the digital signals. Okay, and through this AD converter, the HP system was able to collect chromatographic data from up to 60 detector channels. Okay, and this represented the beginning of computerized chromatographic data analysis and the management. There are some drawbacks of the CDS. Okay, because the CDS used a dedicated hardware and the writing system. Okay, in the CDS that used a dedicated hardware and the writing system, it was relatively expensive to install. Okay, so So this CDS is very expensive to install. Okay, so what is the main first drawback? First drawback of this CDS is very expensive to install because this used as a dedicated hardware and the writing system, and difficult to scale up because more mini computers would be needed with increases in the number of the users. Okay, so scale up also difficult because more mini computers would needed with the increases in the number of the users. If that number of the user increases, more mini computer needed, and scale at that time, if the more mini computers at that time, what happens, scale up is very difficult. So scale up is very difficult because mini computers were needed, more mini computers needed as the number of the users increases. The performance of the system would degrade as the number of the users increases. Okay, so this is again the drawback of the early CDS. So what is the means, the performance of the system is also reduced as the users increases. Okay, so this is the early CDS drawbacks. Okay, so we are talking about the early CDS. Okay, so means primary CDS. So first drawback of the primary CDS is this is very expensive to install because there is dedicated hardware and the writing system is present in the CDS. And scale up is very difficult as more mini computers needed when the users increases. Okay, and the performance also decreases as the number of the users are increases. So these are the drawback of the early or primary CDS. Let's talk about the modern CDS. Okay, there we are talking about the modern CDS. Now we are discussing about the modern CDS. Till now we are discussed about the primary CDS, and there are lots of drawbacks of that primary CDS are there. Okay, so let's discuss about the modern CDS. So use of server based computing is only one of the important features of the modern CDS. Okay, so in the modern CDS, what is the main important feature is that server based computing system. Okay, in the modern CDS we are using the server based computing. Okay, so this is the main important feature of the modern CDS. The other two important features are the use of embedded data structure and the direct instrument control. Okay, so first main important feature of this modern CDS is we are using the server based computing here. Okay, and the other two important features are using the use of the embedded data structure and the direct instrument control. The earlier generation of CDS used a directory file structure, meaning that the raw data and other files such as instrument method and the data processing method were stored at separate location. Okay, so in earlier generations of the CDS, okay, earlier generation of CDS, they are used a directory file structure. Means directory file structure means the raw data and raw data and the data processing method. Okay, that were stored separate location. Okay, raw data and other files such as instrument method and the data processing method were stored at the separate location. Okay, so in that earlier CDS there is a raw data there is raw data is separated, okay, from the other files, and the data processing methods are separated from in other locations. So these are the these all the things are separate are present in the separate location in the earlier generation of the CDS. There would be either be no connection or only be partial connection between these files. So these are stored in a separate location, so there is no connection between, or the partial connection between these raw data and the data processing method. Okay, so this is the main drawback of the earlier generation of the CDS. The most significant drawback of this system, this type of the file management, was potential for method and the raw data to be accidentally overwritten. Okay, so main drawback of this type of the file management is that the potential for the methods and the raw data to be accidentally overwritten. Okay, so this is the main drawback of this because they are present at different locations. To prevent this from happening, the raw data and result files must be locked. Okay, for to prevent the overwritten, so the raw data and the result file must be locked. Okay, in the earlier CDS. In some cases, the logged data needed to be reprocessed. The system administrator must unlock the file. Okay, so what happen in such cases when the data are logged? Okay, when the means in some cases data are needed to be reprocessed. Okay, at that time system administrator must unlock the file. The embedded relational database have been widely used for LIMS and is much better file structure. Okay, so embedded relational database has been used in the LIMS. LIMS stands for Laboratory Information Management System and is a much better file structure. Okay, and the embedded data structure can be used to manage not only the chromatographic data but also all the aspects of the CDS, including system security and the user privileges also. So this embedded data structure, okay, embedded data structure is only present in the modern CDS. Okay, and these all are we are talking about the earlier CDS. Okay, so embedded data structure is present in the modern CDS, and that this embedded, with the help of the embedded data structure, that we can be used to manage all the chromatographic data, all the security and the user privileges we can use with the help of the embedded data structure. The embedded data structures maintain all the information and changes by date and the time. Okay, date and time, stamping them to prevent accidental overwriting of the raw data and the method file. So in the earlier CDS there is no embedded data structure. Okay, so the data are locked. Okay, and that data we need at the time of reprocessing time, so administrator must unlock that data. Okay, at that time there will be a overwritten, all the things happen. So to prevent that overwritten, we are using the embedded data structure in the modern CDS. So this embedded data structure maintains all the information and the changes by date and time, stamping them to prevent accidental overwriting of the raw data and the method files. Okay, and it controls versions of all processed result files, acquisition method, processing methods, and the reporting methods to provide full audit trails. Okay, so this embedded data structure control the versions of all processed result file. Okay, it control the processed result files, acquisition methods, processing methods, and the reporting methods to provide full audit trails. All the metadata related to a specific results are tied together. Okay, all the metadata means acquisition procedure or acquisition process, reporting methods, these all are the metadata. Okay, these are related to a specific results. Okay, so these are tied together. Okay, they combine all the metadata combined in the embedded data structure. Direct instrument control is also possible with the help of the embedded data structure. Okay, direct instrument control was an important issue for the earlier version of the CDS. The scheme of connecting the detector channel through the AD to CDS worked well in analytical laboratory across the pharmaceutical industry. So the scheme of connecting the detector channels, that is AD converter, okay, that well worked in all over the pharmaceutical industry, because that converts the analog signals from the chromatograph instrument to the digital signals in the computer. So this worked very well. The scheme provided enough flexibility so that the CDS could collect data from a variety of instruments, including GC, HPLC, IC, SFC, and the CE. It was equally important that the CDS could be connected to instruments that were manufactured by different vendors. Okay, so this is also again important that CDS could be connected to instruments that were manufactured from the different vendors. Means the CDS is from different vendor and the equipment is from different vendor, that they both are connected to each other. That is also again an important factor. It was not uncommon to find a variety of instruments from the different vendors in a global pharmaceutical research company. The disadvantage of this system was that the instrument metadata could not be linked to the result file of each sample analyzed. It could not be guaranteed that the proper instrument parameters were used in sample analysis. Okay, it could not guarantee that the proper instrument parameters were used in sample analysis. Another need came from the increased use of the information-rich detectors such as photodiode array detectors and the mass spectrometer detectors. To use these detectors in GMP and GLP environment, the data security had to be ensured. Okay, so to use these detectors in the GMP or GLP environment, data security had to be ensured. The data from these detectors could not be collected by CDS through AD convert. Okay, so to use this detector in the GMP and GLP environment, data security had been ensured, and the data from these detectors could not be collected by CDS through the ADs. This represented an important gap in reaching full compliance of 21 CFR Part 11 regulations. In addition, the use of AD inevitably introduced additional noise and the non-linearity. Direct instrument control would avoid these problems. Okay, direct instrument control avoid these problems. To address these problems, the instrument vendors had to cooperate by providing each other with source code of their software. Okay, so to address these problems, the instrument vendors had to cooperate by providing each other with the source code of their software. Some progress has been made in this area. Okay, some progress has been made in this area. A good example is that the CDS Empower, which now can directly control HPLC and the GC equipment manufactured by Agilent. Okay, so some progress has been made in this area. So it's that a good example means a CDS Empower. Okay, the CDS Empower, which now can directly control HPLC and GC equipment manufactured by the Agilent. Let's see the summary of this CDS. So CDS have certainly served the pharmaceutical industry well by being continuously improved. Okay, so CDS have certainly served the pharmaceutical industry well by being continuously improved. CDS have helped the pharmaceutical industry to increase efficiency and productivity by automating a large part of the pharmaceutical analysis. So the CDS have helped the pharmaceutical industry to increase the efficiency and the productivity by automating a large part of the pharmaceutical analysis. But CDS still have room for improvement. Okay, so CDS will still have to improve. So far, the main focus of CDS has been on providing accurate and the reliable data. Okay, so far the main focus of CDS has been on the providing accurate and the reliable data. The current regulatory trend in the pharmaceutical industry is to shift from data-based filings to information-based filings. Okay, so this pharmaceutical industry is to shift from the data-based filing to the information-based filings, meaning that the data must be analyzed and converted into the information. Means that data should be converted into that information. This implies that enhancement in data searching and trend analysis capability will be desirable in the future. So the current regulatory trend in the pharmaceutical industry is to shift from data based filing to information based filing. Means in the place of data we have to file the information. Okay, so this implies that the enhancement in the data searching and trend analysis capability will be desirable in the future. So this is all about the CDS. I hope everybody understood it very well. So let's see some MCQs regarding this topic. What is the function of analog to digital converter? So analog signal to it convert analog signal to digital signal. So correct answer is A. Through the AD converter, the HP system was able to collect chromatographic data up to 60 detector channels. So correct answer is B. What is the drawback of CDS? Cannot use gas chromatography, very cheap to install, expensive to install, none. So what is the drawback of CDS? So correct answer is expensive to install. Okay, this is very expensive to install. What is the important features of the modern CDS? Okay, not using server-based computing, without computer, cannot connect with chromatographic equipment, use of server-based computing. So use of the server-based computing is the main important feature of the modern CDS. Full form of HPLC. So the full form of HPLC is high performance liquid chromatography or high pressure liquid chromatography. So the correct answer is A. So this is all about the some MCQs regarding this topic, and this is the reference. And thank you everyone. Thank you so much.